You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button.
You know, it's going to be a huge challenge. It's going to be a great environment. It's going to be an opportunity for us to go out there and show we belong on this stage. And I've taken this program where we all thought we wanted it to go. It's a great opportunity. It's a great venue. They're a great team. We're a talented team. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Mike Elko has gotten Texas A&M pointed in the right direction in a hurry. It does beg the question of Jimbo Fisher. What were you doing? I've always wondered, with all the resources that A&M has, if they ever got it right at head coach, what it might look like. We may find out here with Mike Elko. Of course, we've talked about it a lot here over this week already. You go back to week 1, Texas A&M lost at home to Notre Dame. LSU lost out in Vegas to USC. I don't think there were any of us who thought when LSU and Texas A&M played here at the end of October, they'd be the only two remaining undefeated teams in the Southeastern Conference. But here we are. And with LSU, they've done it despite some of their warts. Early, it was figuring out the defense in that first month and trying to establish a running game. Garrett Nussmeier has been exceptional all throughout. It's a big reason why LSU is where they are. For Texas A&M, Mike Elko, his background, of course, is as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive-minded guy. A&M's defense has played very well. And they've got Le'Veon Moss, a very talented running back. A&M's been good at the line of scrimmage. The interesting thing has been Connor Weigman, their quarterback. Before the season, Weigman was projected by some as a first-round draft pick. Now, we kind of pumped the brakes on that here. And that first game against Notre Dame was eye-popping because he stunk. There's no other way to say it. He was 12 of 30 for 100 yards, completed 40% of his passes, no touchdowns, 2 picks, had a rating of 54.7 and a QBR of 34. He was awful. He played against McNeese, was better, 11 of 14, 2 touchdowns, no interception. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he got hurt. He was replaced by Marcel Reed, returned against Missouri, and was outstanding. In that 41-10 whitewashing of Missouri, Connor Weigman was 18 of 22 for 276, completed almost 82% of his passes. Didn't throw a touchdown, didn't throw a pick, but he's very good. But as the sample size continues to grow, that Missouri game looks like an outlier. Because he went and played this weekend against Mississippi State, and he was bad again. A&M won that game 34-24. But as Carter Carls points out, and he did a deep dive into Pro Football Focus for Texas A&M, Connor Weigman finished with a team-low 48.5 PFF grade against Mississippi State. Lowest on the team. Despite being pressured on only 4 of his dropbacks. He notes that he also tied his career high in turnover-worthy plays with 4, and both of the interceptions he threw against Mississippi State came against a clean pocket. He was objectively very bad in that game. But that wasn't all. But wait, there's more. Additionally, his 36.1 offensive grade and his 33.1 passing grade with a clean pocket ranked 115th among 117 FBS quarterbacks in Week 8. He was awful against a really bad Mississippi State team. So now, here comes LSU. Blake Baker, that defense that has been cranking up pressure, that averages nearly 5 sacks a game. It stands to reason if Connor Weigman is struggling against a clean pocket, what is he going to do if LSU's rush gets home? That's the big challenge for Texas A&M this week. And Mike Elko was asked about Connor Weigman's struggles against Mississippi State.
I think he has some plays he just wish he had back. I think each one is kind of each of its own. The first one, I don't know if it slipped or sailed. It was hard to tell, but it certainly wasn't an accurately thrown football. The second one was late, and then I think he just got out of whack with his progression on the other two that probably could have been picked. And so, but I also do think like a piece of football is not every throw is going to be. And so I don't know that you ever come out of a game without things to fix or correct. And so it's kind of where we're at with that.
This is Weigman's third year in college football. As a freshman back in 2022, he played in 5 games. LSU did see him in that 2022 game, if you remember. He was 12 of 18 for $155, 2 touchdowns, didn't throw a pick, but that was the day where, what was the guy's name, number 0? Who's the guy from A&M? Number 0 from A&M who ran all over LSU 2 years ago.
A-Chain.
Devon A-Chain.
Devon A-Chain.
I'm in my head. I'm going to start with the name. Devon A-Chain. Ran all over LSU 2 years ago. That was the game where LSU played a 4-win Texas A&M team, and they beat you 38-23. Beat you handily. Weigman last year played in 4 games, and now he's played in 4 games this season. So he played 4 games last year for his injury, if you remember, and then now coming back off the injury. A lot of NFL draft hype, but has yet to live up to it in any way. So there's 2 ways to look at that. A&M is struggling with the guy that was their guy, and you got Marcel Reed, who played really well in Weigman's absence, sitting there. But the other part of it is you could look and say, yeah, but in spite of losing Weigman for 3 games and him not playing great, you're still sitting there right now, undefeated in league play, having won 6 in a row. You're 6-1, and you're hosting LSU with a chance to have the outright lead in the Southeastern Conference going into November. I don't know if it's easy to fix quarterback issues. Doesn't seem like it would be. But that's the charge that Texas A&M has right now. And for what it's worth, Mike Elko is giving his full vote of confidence to his quarterback.
We trust Connor, and Connor should trust himself because he's really talented. And so we want him to trust his eyes, go through his progressions, and make the throws that he's capable of making. And, we just talk a lot about, what causes turnovers, where do turnovers come from, and trying to eliminate them as best we can. And he knows he's got to protect the football. We certainly, we threw the ball coming out of our own end zone twice. We threw the ball after he threw the second pick. We're not shying away from throwing the football. That's not how we go about not turning it over. But, I just think there's certain things when you go through the progressions that you're trying to instill in him, timing, rhythm, speed, eyes, those types of things that can protect the football. And he's been really good at it for the most part and needs to kind of shake off a couple bad ones from last week.
For what it's worth, interestingly enough, Texas A&M is 24th in the country in turnover margin. LSU is 28th in the country in turnover margin. So 2 teams that have been very good in this aspect of the game. But when you look at turnovers lost, Texas A&M has lost 4 interceptions and just 1 fumble on the season. LSU has lost 7 with 6 picks and the 1 fumble. So the other part of it is the turnovers gain, where LSU has gotten 11 turnovers. Texas A&M has gained 10 takeaways. So that could be your game within the game. Which quarterback protects the football? I mean, oversimplified, of course, turnover margin is always something that matters. But these are 2 teams that turnover margin has been good. But the important part here is that Weigman's turnover issue has come in the 4 games he's played, where Nussmeier has played in 7. So file it away. Let's see if Weigman can shake it off. Taylor Swift. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.